started.
Oh, two dog man. Let's see, I think it's my turn to play d4. So let's give this a shot. d4, c4. Okay, this is a queen's gambit declined, very traditional opening. And you can play knight here and get both knights out first, or you can play the pawn here. I do that to defend this c-pawn and avoid all kinds of funny gambits over there. Well, they're not gambits exactly. They're ways that black sometimes tries to take the pawn and hold on to it. Now the queen can go to this square or this square, c7 or e7. And with c7 it's lined up here, but with e7 it supports the e4 push, which you want in this case. I think let's go with that route. The idea is to push e4 and open up a line for this dark squared bishop. Okay, so black is countering in the center. Now I can give black an isolated queen's pawn here, so let's do that. Actually, he can take there, can't he? I don't want to give up my bishop, so let's drop back. It's not giving up the bishop, it's exchanging the bishop for the knight. But that's a good position, a good bishop in this position, because these pawns were on dark squares. So let's put a little more pressure on the d pawn here before we take it. Oh no, that was a mistake. I meant to take with a pawn. That was just silly. What was I thinking? Okay, he took back with a pawn. I was thinking he had to take with a pawn, because if he takes with a piece, then I can try pushing here. But, yeah. Yeah, so if he had taken with the knight or the bishop there, then the move e4 would have attacked the piece, which is pinned against his queen. And his escape, he could escape in a couple of squares to attack my queen, but both of them are covered. This one, after the pawn's out of the way, this square would have been covered by the bishop and this square by that pawn. So it would have been okay anyway. I would have ended up with a pawn there anyway if that had been played normally. Here, I'll have to look at that later. Okay, so I think I want to kick the knight. So I'm going to play a6 and then a3 and then b4. And I opened up a square for the knight there. But it's guarded by the bishop. Okay, so if I play that immediately, he can just take, and I can't take back because the pawn is pinned. So bishop here. Okay, what are his other plans? He can line up on my king side. Yeah. Let's kick the knight like I planned. Then after the knight moves, I have to do something with this bishop. Let's see, can I take the knight first? I guess that just loses the exchange. So now if the knight goes there, he's hitting this bishop, and this bishop's under attack from the queen. So I guess I will let him take the dark squared bishop if he wants it. And what's a good square for this light squared bishop? Maybe here, attacking the isolated d-pawn. Okay. So now I've got two pieces on the d-pawn, and if he pushes, I can take with the knight. What he might try is lining his queen up here first, but I can harass it with the rook. But the bishop and queen battery is an interesting idea there. So why don't I just line the rook up? It's a little tricky. If I go here, he can defend the pawn with his rook. Bishop takes, and I can't take with the queen because rook takes is good, and also they have a weak back rank. So chase the queen first, maybe, and prevent his bishop from coming to this square, which would fork my queen and my pawn. So he's got the two bishop advantage now because he did grab this bishop, but his compensating weakness is he has a couple of isolated pawns. So his pieces are stronger and his pawns are weaker. So yeah, he could try blocking with his bishop, but then I'll attack it with the knight. So yeah, moving the queen seems to be the move. Then what? Now maybe a knight maneuver is in order here. I'm not winning this pawn, so let's just blockade it for now. Save it as a weakness for later. And the knight to f4 might be good. Knight f4. It's the queen, and but it doesn't seem to threaten much else. I could try lifting my rook. I could try just giving my king some air like he did. Maybe that's a good idea. So I don't get mated on the back rank. And I'm not really sure how to improve my position here. Knight's in a good spot. The bishop is hitting a target, but that target is not particularly vulnerable. I could maneuver my queen around this way. Maybe a queen to f4. But I have to be careful if I leave the knight there. He can take it, and then our pawn structure will be totally symmetric. Wouldn't want that. That's very drawish. I guess what I can do also is queen d3, bishop c2. Just line up. Just line up this way. And if he plays queen to e4, I could try queen to b5, but he didn't. Okay, so he is attacking my pawn. I'm going to threaten checkmate. He noticed. always good to notice those little things. Now maybe push this pawn forward. Are there any knight tricks that can be played? So now a knight sack. So here, hitting the queen. Queen could go there. Let's push the pawn forward. That gives a square for the knight maybe in the future. Okay, he's going to checkmate me, huh? Now I could do something different here. I could play f4, This maybe is a bit weakening, but it also gives me some space over here and maybe some ideas with the knight. F4, G4. And then the knight could move around. I didn't want to move the knight right away because that would allow the queen to come to, now this is an interesting idea. If I just move the knight away, this pawn will be pinned and he can take there with the queen. So let's unpin that pawn so I can move the knight again. Still want to arrange, see a knight over here, knight to F3 to H4, then I could sack the knight on G6 maybe. It's a possibility. Okay, so he just puts a stop to all of that. Okay, and that's going to be annoying because that's going to give me a symmetric pawn structure that I was trying to avoid. But maybe it's a little better for me if he takes with the queen. I couldn't take with the pawn because this pawn was not defended then. So it's queen takes, pawn takes, and I'll have to try for something in the endgame. This is this pawn blocking his bishop in the endgame is something of a target for me. So, but it's well defended, well defended. So rook here, maybe rook to E6, trying to gang up on this pawn. Yeah, this is a double attack, isn't it? E6 and B6. I guess he was worried about this check here, but there is. He should have attacked my bishop probably. Although I still could have tried something. Okay, check here first. Yeah, if he defends that pawn, and I can move the rook with a discovered check. So this is looking pretty good. So now I have a check here to win or exchange that rook, which he doesn't want. And then this pawn is hanging too. Gather pawns while you may. Okay, so now he hits the bishop, which is a good idea. So let's get the bishop to a better post. Maybe here. It's defended there at least. And then he can come in and check, and then I'll move my king forward. And he's got to come back and defend his bishop. Okay, to that square. I think I want to bring my king forward anyway. I can get my king up to G6. I sort of threaten checkmate against the back rank there. And if not, at least I can help support my bishop. And the pawn's advancing. Yeah, so he's getting out of the way of that. idea. Checkmate there. The checkmating idea. Okay, now what can I do here? This row is covered. Let me check here. And then push the pawn again. And now bring my king up to help.
Black resigns.
All right, good game. I think I'll do a post-mortem on this as usual, and I will see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.